Yeah, you have probably seen the video online from European cricket, but just watching it, even on loop, doesn't always do the justice that it truly deserves. I think we really need to break down this one a little bit. But it actually starts very strong from a cricket perspective before it gets brilliantly weird. Everyone here is correctly dressed on an artificial pitch. Maybe you might want a helmet on, but the only problem with the start of this video is that the bowler, Anwar, has a very slight jump sideways just before he lets the ball go. But he does let go a very nice looking white kookaburra ball. He delivers it a little bit short and wide outside off stump, and the batsman, Mahesh, tries to swing it over leg side. The non-striker, Prasanth, has not left the crease at this point, but our wicketkeeper is already looking up. He's running while following the ball pretty well. There is a slight chance of a collision, but that's safely avoided. And then the keeper decides to take the ball using what is known in cricket as the Australian method, with your fingers pointing directly up. It's not the most normal way to catch with gloves on, but hey, whatever works for you. Of course, it does not work for him. He actually has 3 seconds from the ball being skied until he has to take the catch. But somehow he's still moving when he gets to the ball. In fact, he has one leg lifted. A little bit like a romantic ingenue kissing the lead in a Hollywood film from another era. And I'm not sure any catching method is enhanced by, standing on one leg. The weird thing is, he was actually set before then. And he got into a good position and then he just worked himself into a bad one. And I love the reaction of the backup fielder here. There will be more on him later. Let's turn back to Mahesh and his running between the wickets. He is nowhere near having completed his first run and he's already thinking about his second one. And when he finally commits to that run, the ball is actually at the feet of the keeper. That's pretty punchy, Mahesh. So what was he thinking here? Was he thinking that the keeper wouldn't be any good at actually throwing the ball? And it's worth noting that his partner Prasanth hasn't even left the crease yet, but none of that matters. Mahesh wants to run, and the keeper gives a little double hop, and then he decides where he's going to throw the ball. And I'm going to assume that he does decide intentionally to not throw the ball about 15 meters directly in front of him where there are 3 stumps. No. He's going to go to the other end where the bowler, Anwar, is not even reacting to any of this commotion because of the drop catch. The keeper's throw is high and loopy, and for anyone who hasn't played on an AstroTurf wicket, that's always a terrible idea. The ball takes off with a tennis ball-like bounce. Special shout out here to the umpire who decided that he didn't need to move into a better position for the run out that was definitely going to occur. And the ball almost knocks him out because of that. There is a fielder who comes in to help for the run out, but he doesn't quite run that quickly. Maybe he's a little bit put off by the fact he thinks that Prasanth is going to run right through him. So when the ball does bounce a bit, he's just not in a position to pick it up. And can we focus back on Mahesh? Look at him, not grounding his bat like a rock star.
I am a disco dancer. I am a disco dancer.
And then turning to run again. And once he sees the chance of overthrows, he's all in. Has any one person ever wanted buzzers more than Mahesh? But he doesn't want one, of course. No. He wants 2. And again, he just turns and goes. He has barely left the crease as the ball is entering the frame. And sure, this is a 10-10 game, so this is the final over. And you're going to run for everything. But there's running for everything, and there is whatever Mahesh is doing. It's beautiful to watch. Let's just go back to the umpire for a moment and have a look at his magnificent journey here. He does realise that when the throw is coming in, he's got too close to the stumps, so he moves back a little. But of course, the ball still comes through and just misses him. And at this point, he realises maybe he should actually move into a better position, and he takes kind of a scenic route to get there. And then he just disappears stage left. Maybe no one has ever seen him again. Let's take a moment to think of the mid-on fielder who for some unknown reason has decided to throw this at the bowler despite the fact that Anwar is absolutely nowhere near the stumps. And of course he made it harder by throwing it at Anwar's feet. Fast bowlers love that. And why is Anwar miles from the stumps? Probably because he's still disappointed at the drop catch and then the missed run out. But let's freeze it right here. The ball is right next to his hands at this moment. And at the other end, the non-striking Prasanth has not yet left the crease. But of course Mahesh has, because he does not care about Prasanth at all. All Anwar had to do was take the ball, turn around and get it to the stumps. But of course he fumbles. It wouldn't be this video if he didn't fumble. Then he makes up with it with a bad throw of his own. What? He chucks it to the other side of the stumps to where the fielder who has come in to help. But let's focus on that fielder for a moment, who for the second time has not actually got himself behind the stumps. In fact, after missing that first run-out chance, he stands with his hands on his hips in front of the stumps, and then he starts to realise there might be another run-out chance, and so he very slowly gets into position. But look at him just sort of edging his foot close. And once a throw comes in, the fielder actually moves his body further away. Now that can happen when someone pings the ball in at you really hard. This ball was not pinged in really hard. Yes, it was a terrible throw, but I'm guessing it was made to look 5 times worse by the fielder who twice managed to be in the wrong spot and twice let the ball just kind of go past him. Oh, and we haven't talked about the pads yet. Here is the wicketkeeper wearing, if I'm not mistaken, clearly batting pads. These are Mahesh's pads, which appear to be yellow for no reason at all that I can understand. But I will be thinking about this for quite some time.
Yeah, they were all yellow.
And here are Prasant's pads, which turn around. Somewhere here in the second run, his bottom strap comes off as he turns, and so does the pad. I mean, he can barely walk. It looks like he's carrying some goblin down the wicket with him. Not that Mahesh seems to notice, who has never actually looked at his partner once through all of his running. Finally, he gets to the end, and luckily for him, he can fix that pad. Well, at the other end, Mahesh looks like he regrets the all-run 4 and will for some time. But let me just look at 2 all-time great supporting actors here.
And the Oscar goes to...
Here's this guy from the top. You could see him briefly react to the drop, and here he is, bizarrely scratching his face, like nothing is happening at all. Here he is standing dead still for a while, and finally he explodes into action by putting his hands above his head in dismay. And then he keeps them above his head for quite some time until the second bit of dismay, and he drops them at the final run-out chance. And then he just doesn't move. Maybe he can't. Maybe he's just still standing there at third man and will be forever. And I like to think that all of us watching this are one player on this field. Some of us are the keeper, maybe the others the bowler, a few of us are the umpires, there's some Maheshas amongst us and some Prasants. We could even be the bloke at mid-on, the extra fielder, or those 2 guys in the offside ring who sort of come in and do nothing at all. But for me, I'm square leg. He's my spirit animal. He doesn't appear until the first missed run out, but he's instantly confused at either the umpire being in the way or more likely the fact that the easy chance was missed. He then yells out in disgust, but no one listens. But because he is watching, he actually realizes that there's another run out, probably before anyone else does, and then he sort of ambles over into the position of the first backup. And of course the ball ends up making its way to him, but now he's too disgusted to stop it properly or even go and pick it up. This may not be always remembered, but I think in many ways this is one of the greatest moments that has ever happened in cricket.
Even if you think the mission's foobar, sir?
Especially if you think the mission's foobar.